Hey guys, welcome back to Krusty Cranks. We're going to do a little recipe video today, but I've had some emails and people want me to do more recipes, and I have plenty of recipes. This is all my sheets of recipes. I got 4 sheets of recipes here that I can share with you. Yeah, we're going to do more recipe videos, I promise you guys. And I didn't think the soft plastics videos would go over very well, but I wanted to put them in there because if you're out selling baits in the public, setting up little vendor stands and stuff, I mean, I sell a lot of soft plastics out there, especially because I do unique baits and unique colors that you can't find at Walmart. And our Bass Pro Shops is like an hour and a half away, is the closest one to where I am. So I sell a lot of soft plastics. And it's a nice thing because you have another product you can put out there when you're out setting up a vendor table or just selling them out of your house or whatever. I get people come down, pick up 100 soft plastics, 100 Senkos or whatever. So good thing to add to your repertoire if you're just getting into wanting to start your own bait business. They are a little heavy, so when you sell a bunch of baits online, the shipping almost kills you. But anyway, I wanted to talk about some things that I did a video on the stone molds, and it's got a lot of views. It's got a lot of views. It's got a lot of dislikes too. And I just wanted to let you know that I just did that video to show people and show you that you can make baits from those stone molds. I call them stone molds. They're like a hard plastic or whatever. I'm not really sure. They're made out of different things, like 2 or 3 different kinds are made out of different things. But anyway, if you are going to get into making soft plastics and you're going to do it to have baits for yourself only, the stone molds will work out. You can make some baits out of them. But if you are trying to sell baits, then you need to get aluminum molds. Go out and save your money and buy yourself some aluminum molds. The ones I like for Senkos are bass tackle. They're the closest to a Senko, I think. It's just my opinion now. But I got some in 4s, 5s, and the big 6-inch hog here. And I sell some of every size. It just depends on what guys like to use. So I recommend those molds. I'm not getting paid by them. They don't sponsor me or anything like that. But I just wanted to give you guys a good heads up on a good mold. They shoot awesome. They work great, and I just like them. That's the only stickworm mold I have. So I've got 2 of each one. So if I'm cranking out, need to crank out a bunch of 5s or a bunch of 4s, I got 2 molds and I can do 2 hits and bam, there's almost a pack of baits right there. So, but I recommend if you're going to sell baits, go out and get you aluminum molds. Don't mess with those Amazon molds. I pretty much did it. I bought the molds because I wanted to learn how to make soft plastics. So the molds for me were pretty much just trial and error. And there's a couple of them that actually are good fishing baits, So if you're just making for yourself, and you want to stay cheap on the cheap, you can try them out. They're kind of a pain because of the oil that you have to constantly be oiling them. So I'm not a big fan of them, but if I want to make a few baits that I don't have, and some people, just need baits to make for yourself. So the stone molds will work. But I recommend if you want to make a bunch of soft plastics to sell, get yourself some aluminum molds. Now today we're going to do a simple color. The last one I believe I did was green pumpkin and green pumpkin black flake. And that's got a lot of views. So I thought I'd do another popular color. I want to try to stay with some basic colors that if you're getting into the business, you can make these basic colors, and these basic colors sell. I saw a lot of green pumpkin black flake. it's just crazy. That's usually the first color that somebody comes up to me and says, "You got any green pumpkin? You got any green pumpkin in the 5 inch? You got any green pumpkin?" Because then if you go into Walmart, 9 times out of 10, you can't find the Cincos in green pumpkin. Um, and then as far as soft plastics, I use Dead on Plastics just because Chris does. I'm a big fan of Chris Jones. I've learned a lot from watching his videos, and I went with Dead on Plastics. I stuck with them. I like them, and that's what I'm staying with, just because it works for me, works for my customers. They hold up well. I haven't heard anybody so far say that they fall apart on them. I've actually had pretty good compliments about how well they stay together. So I'm a Dead on Plastics guy. Again, they don't sponsor me or anything like that, but I do use Dead on Plastics. I'm just used to it. I like the way it works. It works for me. So that's what I use. So today's video, we're gonna do another simple color. It's watermelon seed, and I use the MF colors. I try to stick with one brand, just because for one, with MF colors, they have a deal on there where you can get like 5 different colors, or 6 colors actually, for $25. So if you're getting into it and you want to spend a little bit of money and get some different colors, that's a good deal. And then you can find out what colors sell for you, what colors don't sell for you, and then you can buy bigger bottles. So I just buy the smaller bottles. That way I don't have to worry about them going bad or anything like that. And I can go on there and I can buy 6 bottles, because they give you one free. You buy 5, you get 6 free. You get the 6th bottle free. So that's just what I do. You can do whatever you want. Whatever floats your boat. If you're going to buy big bottles, definitely buy green pumpkin and watermelon, because you will use a lot of that. So anyway, today we're going to do watermelon seed. It's pretty much watermelon with black flake. I'm going to show you my mixture, and we're going to shoot it on here in southern Ohio, where I live. Guys like to fish with frogs, and I was looking for a good frog mold that I could get that people would like. So Chris done a video on this mold from Anglin AI. It's the ARS toad. And at the time when I was looking for a mold, I was like, he did the video, and I was like, oh, I think I'm going to give that one a try, because I really liked the way the bait turned out, the way it looked. I like the little legs, how they flutter. And so my last event I went to, I made a bunch of these, and I sold a bunch of them, because here where I live, I'm kind of on the border of Kentucky and Ohio. A lot of guys around here like to use frogs. We have lily pads and things like that, and people just like to use frogs. And I had people asking me, hey, you got any frogs? So I knew that was a mold that I wanted to pick up, and I went with this Angling AI, and it's called the ARS Toad, I believe it is. If you go on there and look, you'll find it, and it comes in 3. You get 3. I usually do I do 6 frogs to a pack. So you shoot this twice, and you got a pack of baits. All right. Okay. So yeah, these are just tips I'm going to be throwing in for you about soft plastics. And I know I've had a few emails of guys wanting more recipes, so I'm going to slam out a bunch of recipes for all you guys that are just getting into it and want to learn some popular colors that sell. I've also got some that I've made up, some colors that I've made up, kind of like the pumpkin pie one, which was the first one I did. So we'll do some of those too. But I want to get through a lot of the basic ones that people buy. Your watermelon seed, green pumpkin, I already did. Got black and blue. So a lot of those popular colors. Now, there is a color that I'm going to do too. Probably do that one next, and it's called bubblegum. And I made some bubblegum, and they sold pretty good. So We're going to shoot these. I'll probably shoot the toads just so you can see the translucent on the feet and see what the toad looks like. If you haven't seen Chris's video, and shout out to Chris because he's an awesome dude, and I just really enjoy. I look forward to what he's coming up with next. So let's get on with make some watermelon seed toads. Okay, got my plastic all ready to go here. I degassed it. People ask about the degassing. Do I need to degas it? Unless you want to sit around and wait till all the bubbles dissipate, which could be a long time, especially if you have a lot of moisture in your house. Here we have a lot of humidity, so even those buckets sitting closed, they still take in a little moisture, I think. So I degas, and I use this company here. I got it's called Backing, BACOENG.com. I got this on Amazon. It was around 150 bucks. I got the small one. I would suggest if you're going to really get into this, get the bigger one. I wish I would have got the bigger one because my cup barely fits down in there, one cup. And I didn't think it would be that much of a problem, but when you're trying to take hot plastic out of there, you definitely need a glove. Just the bigger one just gives you more room, and I wish I would have went up and bought the bigger one, but that's water over the bridge. Okay, so for this color, we're going to use the watermelon, just the MF Colors watermelon. There is another one called watermelon green. Now, some guys like a little bit more of a yellowy green to it, and that's, if you do that, that's watermelon green. You want to get that color. You can also use this and add some green pumpkin to it. That kind of gives it the same effect. I think it's kind of, that's what it is. It's like watermelon green is watermelon with some green pumpkin in it. But we're going to do the straight watermelon today on this video. So I always start off, because these are a little thin. Now, some people say Holographic colors is a little stronger, and probably so, but I just adjust to what I'm doing, and if I stay with MF Colors, it's all pretty much the same. So I'm going to put 40 drops. I usually start off with 30 to 40 drops. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So there's 40 drops right there. Also, make sure you always shake up your bottles, because I guess the water in there that they thin it down with, you know, that, I guess that's what it is. I don't know, oil, whatever they thin it down with, that will settle to the top. Now also, when you're using a color like this, and you don't necessarily want it real dark, especially on these frogs, I want the feet on the frogs and the toads to be a little translucent. So I start off with 40, see what it looks like, and then I add my black flake, see what it looks like, and the black flake will give it a little bit more of a darker hue. And according to my recipe sheet, I did use 60 drops. So I'm going to start off with 40, and it looks kind of light. And this is just if you're testing a new color. So that's why I'm kind of showing you this little method. Is if you're testing a new color, start off, when you're using MF Colors, start off with 30 to 40 drops, see if that's what you want, and then you can always add more, but you can't take it away. So, and then like I said, the black flake will make it a little darker. So I use Hobby Lobby's black glitter. Yeah, I got the small black glitter too. So I put, that's kind of a holographic glitter. The small black I got. So that kind of adds a little pizzazz to it too. And I do 3 scoops. Got this little scooper that came with my sorry, I had a brain fart there. It came with my shit. Why am I drawing a blank? Anyway, I use that little scoop. I do 3 to start off with. Now everything that I'm showing you is to 1 cup. Okay, so if you get cups, get these bigger Pyrex cups so the 1 cup is down here. It leaves you a little more room. If you go with like these smaller cups, you can see that a smaller cup, 1 cup brings you way up to the top. And that makes it a little dangerous when it's hot. Especially if you forget to put your glove on. Don't forget to put your glove on. Alright, so I already know this ain't going to be dark enough. So I'm going to add 10 more drops, and then we're going to shoot them and see what they look like. Okay? So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright? And we'll mix that in real good. Heat it again, and then we'll shoot some frogs. Some toads. And I think this is going to be perfect. Not going to put any of the holographic small black in there yet. Just going to use the black so you can see exactly what we got. Alright, let me heat this up for another 30 seconds. I got my 6-ounce injector. We'll go ahead and we'll shoot. We'll go ahead and we'll shoot some 4s too, just so you can see the stick worms. You might shoot some 5s too. But getting back to the degassing, you do want to degas just because of the fact that you're not gonna want those big old bubbles in there. And you're still gonna get bubbles a little bit, but the degassing really helps cut down on some of the bubbles. As soon as you stir it up, you're gonna get some bubbles. This still looks a little light. I think I'm gonna have to have the other 10. So let's shoot it and see what it looks like. I know there's a reason I put 60 on my sheet. But let's see. This AI mold shoots really nice too. Shoot some 4s. I think I got enough in there to shoot some 4s. Nope, maybe not. We'll see. They might not all turn out, but we'll get a couple good ones out of it. Alright, we'll let that cool, and I'll bring you back and we'll open her up and see what she looks like. Okay, let's take a look, see what they look like. Let's move these back out of the way. Let's look at the frogs first. Now this mold, after you shoot a bunch of them, man, it gets hot.
So it really pours better as it gets hotter. And you probably will need gloves for sure. I don't play drums, so I'm not going to do no drum roll, Chris. Sorry. I play guitar. So if you ever want to get together, play some tunes, hit me up. Alright, here we go. Shout out to Chris too. He does an awesome job. I really enjoy watching his channel. This thing, the sprue, eats up a lot of plastic. So there we go. Got away with 50 drops on that. We're going to put a little holographic small black in there. But this mold shoots awesome. I don't know if I said it in the beginning. Here, let me lay him back in there so you can see the colors a little better. I don't know if I said it in the beginning, but I am using the Craw tube blend on the frogs just because I want a little heavier legs. I want the legs to move a little more, and using the Craw tube blend, they seem to work pretty good. I threw a few of these when I first got it. But that's the Angling AI ARS. I think it's called Horny Toad. Let's put a little black flake in it, a little small holographic black. And like I said, that sprue. If it wasn't for that big sprue with my 6 ounce, I could probably shoot 2 at once, but it's a nice color. It's a good bass catching color right there. Alright, let's open up these stick worms, see what they look like. I do at some point want to get me a clamp, but for right now, I just work with these. Wing nuts and thumb screws. See what the stick worms look like. They're probably fine. They probably don't need no more, but we're gonna put 10 more drops in just so you can see the legs. Oh, yep, that's what I thought. I didn't have enough in there. There's one good one anyway, so you can see. It's a little more translucent than I like, so we will put 10 more drops in there. And that's the thing when you're starting off and you're learning, and then when you find what you like, write it down. I have 60 drops written down, so that's why I had 60 drops written down. But I did want to show you guys. So I'm going to heat this plastic up, and we're going to use my little mica powder scoop. That's what it's from, my mica powders. And we're going to drop in 3 of this little holographic black. Alright, so heat this up. I'll put 10 more drops in, and then we'll make some more. Okay, give it another shake since it's been sitting. And we're going to put 10 more drops in. And that should bring us where we need to be. Alright, and then I'm going to add 3 scoops of my mica powder spoon. And you can see that's got a little holographic to it. This is my main measuring spoon. Whatever you figure out that works for you, just like heating your plastics and all that, just keep using the same thing so you get some consistency and you always can go right to it. Some people don't even count their drops. I do, just because I like to know that I'm making consistent baits. I like my baits to be consistent. If somebody orders a pack from me and then down the road they order a few more packs or something, I always like them to be the same. So I write my recipes down on the recipe sheet, which I showed you. Actually, I put them in the computer all after I got them all done and printed them out. And yeah, write your stuff down. And maybe I'll publish them after I get a bunch of videos done for you guys. But I've always put the stuff in the description, so you can always check out the description what I used if you don't remember. And I probably, if I would have filled my tube all the way up, my 6 ounces, I probably would have got all those 4s. But let's just shoot these frogs. I really love this mold. It's an awesome mold. Alright, let's give it a good slow pressure. Fill it up real nice. Hold it down. Take it off. Squirt your excess in there. And if you're using this Do It mold, it don't have a little screw or anything, that little pin that holds the tip in there. So if you push down really hard, you're going to push that into your plastic. And that drives me crazy. So, yeah. Just a flaw in the Do It 6 ounce. Alright, we'll let that cool, and I'll bring you back and we'll open it up and compare the two. Okay, pretty cooled down now. Let's take a look at the frogs. And I went on and shot some 4s, just because if I'm going to do these for the videos, I'm at least going to do enough to make a pack. And I'll show you what the extra 10 drops did. And you can see, now you can see that holographic black flake in there really adds a little sparkle to it. And that's how I make my watermelon seed, just like that. Because I don't want to do what everybody else is doing. I always like to add a little something extra to mine. But that's the... You can see it's a little deeper green now. Just a little bit. And it extends down the legs a little bit more. A little deeper green. But still got that watermelon color. Alright. See what the... Now what I do with these sprues is I don't keep heating them over and over again. A lot of times I have another cup. I don't have an empty one right now. But I usually throw on my sprues in one cup and then I'll come back and melt them down. Because if you keep throwing those sprues in your cup, you got to heat it longer and longer. And each time you heat it longer and longer, you start to get kind of a burnt brown look to it. So, especially on your lighter colors, your yellows and chartreuse and things, it's really going to show up if you keep heating it over and over again. So throw those sprues in a bigger cup and just hold on to them until you get all done, especially if you're making a big order. And don't tear them off like I did. I shouldn't have tore them off. I always trim mine off just a little bit. And yeah, that way you don't keep burning it. throw it all in there, heat it up again. And when you heat your plastic up, that's the biggest thing for new guys, is learning how to get your temperatures right. You got to take that to 350 plus a little bit, because if you don't, you're going to have a mess. And trust me, I'm speaking from experience, because I did have a mess to clean up the first couple times until I figured out I wasn't doing it long enough. But I do mine at 2 minutes, and I'll take it out and stir it, then I'll throw it in for another minute, and that works perfect for me. But depending on your microwave, sorry about that, depending on your microwave, you just play around with it and get you one of the, where's mine? I don't even know where mine is. Get you a temperature laser. So we got a nice, still got some translucency. But it's a nice watermelon green color. All right, I'm gonna finish these up so I get a pack out of them, and we're gonna call this the end of this video, and you'll see pictures of my finished pieces in the end. But yeah, hope this helped you out. Look forward to doing more recipes for you. I got a bunch. Like I said, I got a bunch. I got one that I want to share. It's really cool. It'll be coming up too. But I think the next one we're going to do is probably the bubble gum. But yeah, so appreciate you guys. Appreciate all the subscribers. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Ring that notification bell. Get you one of these horny toads. It's an awesome mold from Angling AI. And make yourself some soft plastics. And always remember, stay crusty, my friends.